Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Yeah. Now, yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. You can make it round the world with the holes in your hand. Popcorn world. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
You're now listening to BLEAV in the ACC with Heisman Trophy winner and Florida State legend, Mr. Charlie Ward, Wave 3 TV, and Fern Creek Hall of Famer, Kendrick Haskins, and Mr. Talking Noise himself, and of course Mama Noise's name, Lloyd Spence. And now, it's time for BLEAV in the ACC. It's the first official chilly Thursday morning. And when I say chilly, I mean it's chilly. It is a brisk 35 here.
Yeah, for Charlie, it's downright cold.
It's right. It's probably cold for Charlie because they're not used to that in Florida. How you doing, everybody? This is Lloyd Spence. That's Kendrick Haskins. This is the great Charlie Ward.
Digging the Heisman hoodie.
He's got the Heisman hoodie. Is that from the being in the house? Did they give that to you when you go to the house?
You're breaking up. I'm not sure what you said.
Okay, we were asking about the hoodie. Is the hoodie from the Heisman house? You get it when you go to the Heisman house?
No, it is not a Heisman house exclusive.
Is it downtown? Is it downtown athletic club exclusive?
No.
Huh.
Anyone that goes and goes to Heisman weekend can purchase one.
Wait a minute. I can just walk around with a Heisman shirt?
Yeah, you can.
That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right at all.
Now we can't even give them the flex.
Yeah, because I can't flex for something that everybody can purchase. That's not cool. I feel like that's the Heisman is cheapening the brand by doing that. Just give it out to only the Heisman, let it be exclusive, and then if you do charge for it, charge $5,000 because everybody should be able to walk around wearing a Heisman shirt. Only Heisman winners.
Should be able to walk around wearing Heisman.
Yeah, because we can't even get them with the flex. Because
I can't flex you for that, Charlie.
Yeah, because anybody, I could have that. That's not right.
Right. If I can go to Big Sporting Good and get it, then it's not. That's not. You know.
Yeah. How are we supposed to flex you, Charlie?
I can't hear. I can't. You guys keep breaking up, so I'm gonna try to go out and come back in.
Okay, brother.
Okay.
All right. Charlie is having some technical difficulties this morning, but he'll work it out. That's what he does. He's not only just a Heisman Trophy winner, but he's also his own tech department. So there you go. How are you doing this morning, Kenny Gaskins? You good?
I'm good. It's that busy time of year. I mean, football's in full swing. We're in soccer tournament time around here. We got basketball getting started. So yeah, Louisville's first exhibition game is actually coming up on Monday. And so
for basketball?
Yes. So,
wow.
Yeah, we had their media day on Tuesday, and yeah, it's 100 miles an hour right now. Of course, we have the Miami game coming up on Saturday.
So while we're here in this moment, since you brought up Louisville basketball, did they have the proverbial chip on their shoulder for not being ranked at all? Which I'll be honest with you, I was a little surprised, but not stunned.
No, they were fine. Coach was asked about it, and he gave, of course, the typical coach answer, like, that it doesn't matter, which is true.
We haven't earned it yet. It doesn't matter. We haven't earned it yet anyway. So
right, yeah, and
by the way, nobody else has in America either. So
right, and when you look at their situation, I mean, it was weird because all summer what you saw was U of L being ranked and Kentucky wasn't.
Right.
But then when the actual polls came out, it was the other way around. But like I said, it's it doesn't matter. B, I think they're ranked right about where they should be, given the situation, given the it's been like really 4 or 5 years since U of L has been relevant in basketball anyway.
Right.
So I think they're properly ranked, and nobody really knows anything right now anyway. So like these rankings are just a lot of them are based on last year anyway. So
yeah, and if the tournament started today, they'd basically be in. So that's
right.
kind of what you want anyway. So you're fine. Yeah. You're doing.
And
fine.
I like where they fell in the ACC predictions. The ACC picked them to finish 9th in the conference. This is middle of the pack. Yeah, and I think that's about right.
Well, guess what? You know what it is? It's motivation. It's an easy sell on game night.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody believes in you. It's us against the world.
Right. And it's
a gift that keeps on giving. So there you go.
And in actuality, it really does take some of the pressure off.
and by the way, it should. You want that because, listen, as great as I think Kelsey has done in recruiting and in preparation for this season, he's still a tremendously large unknown. Like, we don't know. Listen, until you actually sing the song, we don't know if you can sing. Like,
yeah, exactly. He's been great, though. Since he's gotten here, he has been great. His energy is infectious. He's definitely put a shock of energy into the program, to the fan base. I mean, he's 100 miles an hour. I love showing that clip of him because they let us shoot a practice over the summer. Mm-hmm. And, he's out there setting screens on big men and like running around out there. It's crazy.
I think he's legitimately done it the way it should be done. And so usually doing it the right way produces the right results. And that's really all you really want at the end of the day.
And you want somebody who's energetic and is excited to be at the program. And
gets it. When it's a blue blood, he gets it. He understands the legacy, he understands the fan base, he understands the necessity for good communication and good enthusiasm. I think those were, with all due respect, I think those were all the things that Kitty didn't get, which is wild because Kitty played here. But I don't think he got that. It's wild that Kitty didn't understand that, but he didn't. I don't think he got it.
I think it's a little bit of a personality thing. Plus, Coach Kelsey is from Cincinnati, so he's from right up the road.
Yeah, so he's seen it. Yeah,
and he's right around the same age as I am. I think we are right around the same age. And so, he grew up in Cincinnati, and let's be honest, when we were kids, Cincinnati wasn't that great at basketball anyway.
Right, so they didn't get good until we got to college.
So he probably watched a lot of Louisville basketball growing up, and so he 100%. Knows a lot of the history. Then he got here. and learn even more of the history. I mean, he's bringing up Peck Hickman. I mean, he
has ingratiated himself in very nicely. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's able to accomplish. I think we got Charlie Ward back. Charlie, can you hear us good? You got us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Let me just be clear, though. Regardless of how it has sounded to you, you look fantastic. The visual is fantastic.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure you understand that part.
And we're disappointed that we cannot hit you with the humble flex.
Very disappointed. I was looking forward to
that. It's the Heisman's fault.
What's a Heisman shirt? It's on the Heisman winner. That feels like a humble flex moment until you explained it. And they were like, oh, there goes that. So anyway.
I purchased this.
We know. That's what made us mad.
Now, that seems like a violation.
How's that?
Because the Heisman winner should never have to purchase his own Heisman shirt. That is
nothing that says Heisman on it you should have to purchase.
100% agree. So we might need to go. We might need to go file a grievance for somebody.
Just let us know where we need to file that. Random boxes showing up at the doorstep with Heisman stuff on it.
Yeah, 100%. They've been kind of light on the Heisman commercial this year. I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that many. I've seen
like 3.
A couple with Reggie Bush. And
yeah. Which, by the way, shout out to Reggie for finally getting in the Heisman house, which he so richly should have been there all along. But yeah, they haven't shown that many. It's only been like I said, 3. I think I saw 2 with Reggie, and then the one with Mark Ingram and Desmond.
And I had to double take at Mark Ingram. I was like, they don't even look like Mark Ingram.
Well,
if it was the makeup or if they retouched the video or what they did.
I double take that one because it was kind of creepy. Like
it was creepy.
To knock his head off. I was like, wait a minute, what are we? What's the message here that we going for?
I guess because they released it in October, so they wanted to have a Halloween.
Maybe that's what it was. It was a very creepy, and even Desmond and Jaden's reaction was like creepy. Mm-hmm. Like they almost seemed like a little miffed by it too. It was a weird video, but you know, people seem to like it, so I guess it's something.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, we are officially at the halfway point of the season, and I got to be honest with you. In my humble opinion, it's way better than I thought it would be. Like, this has been a phenomenal ACC. It's been a phenomenal college football season, period. But specifically to the conference that we cover, it's been fantastic. And now the weird part or the check part of it is, I don't know if we're really good, which I think we might be. It feels like we might be a good conference, or we're just having some really good competitive games. I don't know yet, but it's been fun regardless of how you look at it.
So I want to ask this question because this normally comes up a lot.
Sure.
Why is it different?
That is a great question.
That the ACC, who have competitive games and teams,
I already know where you're going.
Top to bottom,
mm-hmm.
Get so sideways and different than the SEC, who has the same parity, teams beating teams in a sense in a lot of different ways. Even Vanderbilt, I mean, they're not getting enough credit, but they're a solid team as well, and they've shown that.
Yeah.
And so now, in the Big Ten, all the powerhouse conferences, quote unquote, have competitive games, competitive teams from the bottom to the top. But the ACC, they don't get the credit that they've always had parity in some form. They may have had one or two teams, outliers, each year, and there's been Clemson, Florida State, and whomever. It's been one of those top teams that's won all the games, but that's no different than the SEC or the Big Ten. You have one team or one or two teams at the top that have one loss or no losses, That's been consistent, but all the other teams have been very similar, where you have competitive balance across the conference, and everyone talks about the SEC, everyone talks about the Big Ten, but they're in the same boat. I mean, we're starting to see that now, where it's competitive across the. I mean, the majority of the teams. I mean, you have Indiana, who's sitting there 6-0, and I mean they're flying kind of under the radar because they're Indiana, but
maybe legitimately good though. Like it looks
saying.
like they are.
Yeah, they look the part. Their schedule is kind of part of it too.
Schedule has helped tremendously. But you're right, Charlie. Charlie, I think it's the reasoning. It's the reason that Coke is perceived to be better than Pepsi. There's no legitimate reasoning why Coke is better than Pepsi. People just believe that it is. I don't know why. I can't explain to you why. I've tasted them both. To be honest, there's not much difference in either one of them, but people just believe that it is. And history has dictated that it is, quote unquote, better by the sales. Now, that doesn't mean that it is. That's just how people see it. I think it's the same way with the SEC. I don't believe that the SEC top to bottom is better. And in this year, I'm not 100% sure that it is better, other than their best team or one of their best teams did beat our best team. Now, you can say that. That happened in real time. We watched it, right? Clemson got destroyed by Georgia. Now, would that happen today? I don't know. I don't think it would be quite as bad today, though I don't know.
I don't think it'll be a blowout.
Right. I don't know if it'll be a blowout today. I think Clemson maybe has figured some things out. But the perception of how good a conference is has far taken over, especially the last 25 years. It has taken over the reality of maybe how good the conference actually is. And I've been preaching on that soapbox for years, saying I don't understand what people are looking at when they think the SEC top to bottom is better. I don't get that.
It's been ingrained, and like you said, but that hasn't always been the case. It does seem like that's just kind of ramped up over the last 15, 20 years. But but like Charlie said, when the SEC's all beating up on each other, all you hear is about how tough the conference is. There's parity. Then the ACC beats up on each other, and they're like, "Oh, it's a bad conference." And it's like,
like it doesn't make any sense at all.
But it does feel like this year we have more parity in college football than we ever have.
Right. And by the way, I think it's parity all the way across the board. I think the Big 12, the Big 12 winner could, by the end, legitimately have 2 losses. It would not surprise me if the Big 12 winner had 2 losses. Would not surprise me at all. It might be that the SEC may have 2 losses. Like 2 overall losses. I'm not talking about conference losses. Right. I made that mistake last week. Let me fix it this week. 2 overall losses. So I just think we're in a world of parity now, aided by the transfer portal. And I think we're not ever going back. I think it's going to look like this. And we've got to do a better job from a media perspective of revamping the narrative that this conference is just so dominant above everybody else, when that's probably not true. Like, you could probably drop some teams in from the ACC that would do very well in the SEC, and same for Big 12 to the ACC, and all around. I think it's better college football than we're giving the country credit for, I guess is what I'm saying.
It is, and while when it was all going on with all the conference realignment stuff was annoying at first, we have to admit we've getting some great games.
It's been really good.
This weekend slate of games. I mean, it's amazing, and it's conference realignment. It's good. I mean, we got that California-Miami game, which we never would have gotten that game before, and that was an awesome game. And so, and it's as weird as it is to see California in the ACC, it has produced a lot of great games, and and we've got great matchups. I mean, you got USC playing at Michigan, and things
which
like
is crazy,
that. Right?
Well, October to have that happen, but it's
and they have real stakes on the line. I mean, that part of it has been great.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that. You enjoying it, Charlie? Each weekend?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been good.
Yeah.
I just thought I would bring that point up because it just bothers me that people don't see teams as teams. They see them as conferences, and then they talk about parity. Parity. It's parity across the board now. I mean, you're not going to have your dominant teams anymore because of what Kendrick just talked about, the realignment piece.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to have good games, and hopefully I can pick them right.
Well, listen. This week, actually, we as a group did very, very, very well. You and Kendrick went 6-1 and aided by the I Believe game, pushed you into the 6th realm. And then
I went the easy route on the I Believe game.
You did with the I went with the harder route on the I Believe game. So and legitimately thought I had it won until
you didn't
1 minute of the game, and then Kansas State went down and scored, and that ended that. But still went 6-0 legitimately. So and got the first 6-0 of the year. So which I desperately needed. Let's just be honest. I desperately needed that. So since we're already here, I'll go ahead and give us the records. So that brought me a little bit closer. But I need some more good weekends, dominant weekends to catch up to my brothers here. But all in all, we're enjoying it. But let's go through some of the games. This was a must-win for Louisville, and they got what they needed. Late, but they got it. I got to give Virginia all the credit. They played fantastic at home, and they looked like, from a defensive perspective, their offense still, is a work in progress, I think. But defensively, man, they played a pretty solid game. They just didn't have any answer for Isaac Brown. That was the real problem. Isaac Brown went bananas.
That freshman running back, he's been good when he's been in. He just haven't had consistent playing time. It was good to see them getting him the ball and featuring him in the offense. And also Jamari Johnson, the tight end, that caught that game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was huge.
He's a big-time recruit coming in. He is a large human being playing tight end. And I think they're going to start working him into the offense a little bit more as the season goes on too. He's a funny kid. They brought him into the Monday press conference, and he doesn't. They don't never get much credit for their blocking for the receivers and tight ends, but he's done a pretty good job in the blocking scheme. And we asked him, because he played quarterback most of the high school, and
is that right? Wow.
Yeah, and asked him why is he so good at blocking. He said he's mad that he's not getting the ball, so he takes it out on whoever he's blocking.
I love it. That's a great answer.
He's a funny kid. He's just a freshman. He's a great kid. They brought him and Gelati into the press conference on Monday. And they were
awesome. Jai played better too. He played better.
Gelati does his best game of the season so far. Yeah. I asked him about that, and he was just like, it's just how the kind of season's kind of unfolded. He's seen a lot more double teams. I mean, he's at the top of the scouting board every week anyway.
Absolutely.
So numbers going to take a little bit of a dip, but he's still playing great. He still seems like he's in good spirits, and he kind of battled an injury too, and so it's good to see him back on track.
Yeah. Clemson is being Clemson right now. They look great. Things seem to be coming together. Another big week for them as far as dominating the opponent that is across from them. Klubnik put up some good numbers, 309 and 3. Phil Moffitt finally had a really good day. 19 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a really good solid day. Do we believe, though, are we prepared to say, to Charlie's earlier conversation, that Clemson is a good team? Here's who they've beaten so far: App State, North Carolina State, Stanford, Florida State, Wake Forest. Are they a good team? Or are they a team that's beating bad teams the way you're supposed to beat bad teams.
I think they're a good team. I've been critical of Dabo, but I've also said that that team is still loaded. I've been consistent with that all year. So yeah, I think they're a good team, and I think I'm really truly from what I've seen so far. I think if we're just going by today, I think they're going to win the conference. I like what I see out of them more so than I like what I see out of Miami. Do I think Miami's a really good team as well? But I really like what Clemson's doing. I mean, I've liked Klubnik from the get go, and so I think Clemson's playing really well right now, and they're taking care of business. They're not just barely beating these teams; they're taking care of business, and like Charlie says, they're having their stat games.
Yeah, listen.
So, I mean, when you start looking at teams, you have to look at how they're playing. And a lot of times you look at who they're playing as opposed to how a team is playing. And so what they are consistently doing is playing good defense. You're looking at the scores that they have. They're consistently playing good defense. And even the first half of the Georgia game, they held Georgia to 3 points or 6 points or whatever it was. And so I think that's something that they've been hanging their hat on all season. And the offense is starting to come around with Klubnik and Williams and Maffa. And, they're starting to find their way from that standpoint. And so they're a contender for sure. One of the things about Miami, we'll see them hear about them, but they're going to have to improve their defense. They've been giving up quite a few points, and they've also been waiting for Cam Ward to, bail them out a lot, which he's been able to do. But I think they're going to have to find a way to play better defense if they're going to, win.
Yeah. I'll say this: Virginia, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Pitt, the Citadel, which is a weird schedule in November, and South Carolina is what they have left on their schedule, Clemson. So I think we'll find out a lot more about them, especially in the next 2 to 3 weeks. This week will actually be interesting. Clemson going to Virginia and having to try to pull that one out. So it'll be interesting to see.
That's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they are going forward. The thing that I'll say about Klubnik is that he's making the right plays at the right time. Is it as wonderfully consistent as you would like it to be? Probably not, but at the same time, the ones he needs to make, when he needs to make them, he's making them. And that's a huge step in the right direction, especially from last year, because he wasn't making them last year. So he's been flashing his speed more because he gets out on that corner and it's lights out. He is. He is. So you got to give him credit because they're doing enough of the right things to win and win decisively. So Haynes King is Haynes King. That's all I can say about Georgia Tech. They are, as we've talked about many, many times before, they go as he goes, and he be going. He be going. Didn't have a greatest passing game. He only had 127 yards passing on right at 50% for passing, 11 of 22. But he ran for 107 yards on 11 carries and 2 touchdowns. And when you do that, you're probably going to have a good day. So Haynes King is Haynes King a Sunday player?
Not passing like that.
I just had to ask, Charlie. I had to ask. I agree 100%.
Not as a quarterback.
You're right.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Taysom Hill.
I was going to say, he got a little Taysom Hill in him, though. I can see a tight end move. I can definitely see a tight end move. He'd make a decent tight end, I think.
How big is he?
That's a good question. He is 6'3", 215.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give him another 10 pounds. I don't want to slow him down too much, but maybe make him 225. He might be all right.
Yeah, 225. I think he'd be a good size tight end.
Yeah, he's big boy. But no, I don't think he's a Sunday quarterback.
He's not a Sunday quarterback.
No, he's not. Are teams in the ACC pushing Mac Brown closer to retirement? That's the real question here.
I think the team he's coaching is pushing him closer to retirement.
Jacoby Criswell, 17 of 31, 209 yards passing.
I mean,
17 of 31.
The quarterback getting hurt the first game of the season didn't help things, but that has nothing to do with the defense being so bad.
But they've been bad every year he's been there.
I know.
Even when they were good, they were bad. Like even when the team was good, they were bad.
Yeah.
It's not been a great return back to the place that he started. So tough sledding right now for North Carolina. And they're still 3-4. So it's interesting.
They're right there.
I think we're starting to realize that Stanford is just okay. Notre Dame teed off on them. 49-7.
Okay.
Huh?
I said they've always been okay.
Yeah, they're okay. They're nothing to write home about at all.
No, we knew that coming in.
Yeah. Riley Leonard, 16 of 22. Ashton Daniels for Stanford, 8 of 13. How do you go a full game? You're down 49-7, and you only get 13 passes. That's weird. That's a weird stat.
Stuck to the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, technically, you're right. They ran the ball 41 times. Now it was only 113 yards, but they did run.
How many times did he run?
He ran 14 times.
Yeah,
for 42 yards.
I don't know how much of a good thing it is when your quarterback runs more than he throws, and you're down that much the whole game.
It doesn't feel like you're giving your all in a game like that when you're 13 times. That's so weird. That's such a weird stat.
These days, yeah.
I don't get that one, but okay. California's defense, if they could get any production out of their offense, they'd be right there this season. They gave Pitt all they could handle. Eli Holstein, who had been tearing it up, quite honestly, had been playing phenomenal. 14 of 28 for 133 yards and 2 interceptions. Did not have the greatest day, was bailed out by Desmond Reed's 16 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well,
and I don't know if you can put this. Go ahead.
I'm just surprised by California because they actually have a pretty good offense. Like the quarterback's good. They have a good running back. I think the receivers are okay. I mean, they're decent, but for some reason, it just seems like they can't put up any points.
They can't put up any points, Charlie.
And
that's 100% correct.
And I can't put my finger on it. Like they have really good players. Good scheme.
Yeah.
They're not getting in the huddle like every time. I mean, they're up on the no huddle type of. Fast pace at some point, whenever they get a first down and moving the chains. And so it's just hard to put your finger on like why they're losing games from an offensive standpoint. Because defensively, I mean, they're solid.
I haven't looked at it, but I bet you could look at the overall ACC stats, and from a defensive perspective, I gotta believe California is like in the top 3 of everything that's good. At least visually, they look like they have maybe arguably the best defense in the conference. Like they look really good. They just can't score.
I bet their red zone offense numbers are terrible.
Yeah,
they have to be.
Yeah,
they have to be.
And that's what's killing them. And well, You said the red zone defensive numbers? Offensive, yeah. That's what's killing them. Because Fernando Mendoza, 272 yards, 27 of 37. That's not a bad day. That's a pretty good day.
I mean, they had 15 points. I'm assuming they had 5 field goals. That means, you convert 2 of those into touchdowns and you win this game by double figures.
Yeah, I don't know. They got to find a way. I don't know. But first year in the ACC, first year stepping up in competition, if you want to say that. So maybe that's the challenge they're having right now. But Pittsburgh still undefeated, ladies and gentlemen, still undefeated. And then Syracuse got a big win on the road, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't your mama's Syracuse, people. This ain't your daddy's Syracuse.
At this point, it's not your it's not your little brother Syracuse. It's 2 years ago.
Kyle McCord is for real. 346 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. The kid can play. He can play.
He's better than the Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah. Well, listen, he's definitely not. With all due respect to Syracuse, he's definitely a transfer from what they've had. He looks good. He looks prepared. He looks ready. He's having
consistent.
A good season. 5-1 is Syracuse right now. When's the last time we ever said that? 5-1, legitimately 5-1.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they played North Carolina State, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But they're doing their thing. And then I believe games were Kansas State and Colorado. Great game. Once again, trapped into the cul-de-sac of staying up for this game. I should have took my mind to bed. But it was a great game. It was a great game. I got to believe, this is my opinion, the injuries just kind of caught up to Colorado in that one because Horn went out, Hunter went out, Miller went out. It was just like Shador was just manufacturing drives at that point.
Right.
Like I don't know how he was getting. And then Shepard, I like that kid, but he's becoming the kid that can't catch in crucial moments at this point. Like, I hate to say that about him, but it's kind of ringing true, which is bad.
Their defense let them down this game.
Well, yeah, he gave up 31 points. And Shador got him the win. He put the win right on the plate for him.
Yeah, that's another Saturday where I fell asleep.
Listen, I legitimately understand that.
It was a Sunday.
Because it was right. The game ended on Sunday. So yeah.
Right.
And then the Red River rivalry was no rivalry at all. What we did not know about Oklahoma is that they don't have an offense at all. Like their offense was
they have a bunch of guys hurt too.
Yeah.
So it was par for the course.
It was not good.
Is Venables in trouble there?
That was my next question.
No.
You say no, Charles.
Let's just put that to rest. We stopped talking about folks' jobs in trouble. They've only been there for a year.
Charlie, it don't take long for some schools. You know this.
And they just went to the SEC, and in this game, they have guys that they've lost as far as the offense is concerned, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
But I mean, we gotta give people time. Let's give them time to see how he can, because it's different. I mean, I understand trying to connect with Texas and Oklahoma but they're in a different conference. They could easily go from being one of the top teams to a middle to bottom team in the conference. So because of recruiting, because of the teams that they're playing, but they can be in the middle tier every year.
I got another question, a different question. Is before we get to the 2, I believe, NFL games, is the right quarterback starting at Texas?
Ewers, yeah. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you have to like both of them. They're both solid quarterbacks. Here's my opinion. I think Quinn Ewers is more experienced and therefore better by default, because when he plays, he's doing the smarter things. When Arch plays, you see all of the talent that is going to be, and he does enough to win the game. But when you hear people saying, man, Arch is better, I'm like, I don't know if that's true at this point. I think it may ring true historically when it's all said and done, but I don't think it's true at this point.
No, not right now. And Ewers hasn't done anything to lose the job. So
yes, 100%.
And he's been fantastic since he's been at Texas. And so no, and the good thing about Arch, and it seems like he got this from the family, is he's just waiting his time, just buying his time. He's not complaining. He's supporting the guy in front of him, and he knows his time is coming. His time's coming next year. So
that's the thing, most times you hear family members come out and say something, or the player is disgruntled, but this time it's the outside people trying to drudge up all of this controversy and what have you. I think he's doing his job well, which is supporting. Again, when he got his opportunity, he showcased what he was capable of doing. And of course, the two teams he played against fully were, I wouldn't say the best teams that they would be playing, but it was good for him to get in and keep the ball rolling in a sense. This weekend is going to be tougher as well. They'll have another solid game against Georgia. So it'd be interesting to see how they navigate this game. I know they're number one, but Georgia's kind of been a hit or miss when it comes to offense or defense. In some respects, they have some weaknesses. So, defensively, they've been pretty stellar when it comes to their games, but offensively, their offensive line is not their strong suit at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare against against Texas.
I think Arch Manning is sitting in the prime real estate spot. He is the heir apparent. He is like fourth in the country in NIL money, and he has he doesn't have to leave at all. If I were Arch Manning, I'd stay all 4 years. Why are you trying to rush into adulthood? Sir, take your time, enjoy your life, enjoy college, enjoy the experience. Just enjoy it. Like you're never going to get this time again, sir. Just have fun.
Sure he is. I'm sure he is enjoying. I'm sure he is enjoying college.
Oh, he's got to be. He can walk around Texas campus as the man sitting next to the man. That's a pretty good situation to be in.
And everybody loves the backup quarterback.
As a backup quarterback, and there's no rush. He's not hurting for money. It's not like his family needs, his dad needs. You're fine. Everybody's fine. Just enjoy your life, son. Enjoy being the role that you're playing and enjoy it. He's in a great position behind Jags. Block out the outside noise and just enjoy your life. So there you go. Kendrick was able to get this game. And this was a very interesting game. First of all, this is a very confirming game because not often do you watch a game and walk away from the game going to with the losing team like the losing team looks great.
Mm-hmm.
They look fantastic. The Commanders are for real.
Yeah,
they are for real.
They're for real the best team in this dysfunctional NFC East.
No question about it. No question about it. They have the best quarterback in this dysfunctional NFC East, and I'm not sure it's close right now.
So what teams in the NFC East? Dallas, Philly.
You know what, Charlie? You know what? You don't have to do that.
And
you know what teams in it. You know, Charlie think he's slick. You see how he tried to play as Kendrick?
Right, yeah.
You don't know what teams in it.
I was just trying to confirm.
Yeah.
Those are the teams, right?
Those are the teams.
Yes, Charlie, those are the
it
teams.
currently stands.
There's been the teams in the NFC East for
Philly's
50
not
years.
bad. Philly's
We
not
got
bad.
one. Hey, we got one team that lost by 39 points. We got one team that lost. That the Eagles didn't play this past weekend, so that was
the Eagles won. No, they won. They beat the winless Browns.
Oh no, they did. They did win.
Then their coach started trash talking their own fans.
Right, that was dumb. Dumb. And then
Well,
our problems are the same problem we always had.
Let me just say this, because this happens, on occasions where you hear so much negative talk all season about what you're not doing, how you can be better.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, I understand it, and you have your moments and you learn from them, but people are talking about him, and he hears it. Yeah. And he has a moment where he's like, hey man, I'm tired of it, because I mean, we got this win, whatever it was, and I totally understand it. Like,
it's a human moment.
Yes, I've been there, and I know it happens, even though you don't like for it to happen, but it does happen on occasion, and you just learn from it. So I totally understand how he got sideways, because we don't know. I mean, that fan, whoever he was talking to, they probably could have been talking about him the whole game.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. It's Philly.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm 100% sure they were. Yeah, because it's Philly.
It was just one of the moments I'm sure he had. Like, hey man, I'm just gonna go ahead and and let him know.
As the kids say, I had time today. So he
the thing for me though is, as a coach, you're always telling your players to block out the noise. Well, guess what he wasn't doing?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to reinforce that message. But nevertheless, we're all human, as Charlie said. It happens. Yeah, we all happen. And then let me just say this: I am very much ready to say this publicly. I have not said this in years, but welcome home, Baker Mayfield.
Hey, Baker's throwing that thing.
Welcome home, Baker. You know what? We forget sometimes that sometimes it's scheme, sometimes it's culture, sometimes it's being in the right system. And he has found that in Tampa Bay, and he looks outstanding. Like you could argue that he's a top 3, top 4 in the NFC. He's playing some phenomenal football. I got to give him the credit that he deserves.
Baker is really and truly, really and truly, if being honest, you really look at Baker has played played well everywhere he's been. That last year in Cleveland, he was injured and he kept playing. Yeah. But he's played well everywhere he's been.
He looks outstanding, and they so far look like a legitimate contender. Now they're going to battle in that NFC South. NFC South, because I think Atlanta might just have so many weapons. You're just going to succumb to them at some point.
That division is really good.
I mean, yeah, the division looks
outside of Carolina. Every team in that division is really good.
100%. So, but they got a big win this weekend, and then with Derek Carr being down,
I thought the Saints were in there. I thought the Saints were in their division.
They are.
They are.
The Bucks, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Falcons.
But the thing about the Saints, Derek Carr is down, and they have not announced when he's returning. So each week, though Spencer Rattler wasn't horrible.
Oh, he wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible. He wasn't as bad as I thought he would be, if I'm being honest.
They scored 27 points in a quarter, and they didn't score no more points in no more quarters.
I have a feeling I'm probably gonna clip that line. They didn't score no more points in the fourth quarter. That's a great line. That's a great line, Charlie. They scored no more points. No more quarters.
I think Carr will be back this season, though, and so
I think he will.
And they're vastly different team when he's there, and so I think they'll be okay later.
And this week, Olave's out, I think. So they got
play
some
tonight.
injury issues going on right now.
Yeah, they play tonight.
Oh, is it tonight? Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a
Snuck
quick
up on
it's a
them
quick back to back.
Yeah, that's not good. So, but you know, it's long season. Long season. We're just at week 8 or week 7, whatever it is, and so we got a long way to go. Well, speaking of tonight, Boston College and Virginia Tech will take the field and take the nation's attention, try to steal the nation's attention away from baseball.
And
Though I don't think
Thursday
they'll
night
really
football.
do it. Huh?
And Thursday night football.
And Thursday night football. Good luck with that, Boston College and Virginia Tech.
Baseball games have been phenomenal. Been watching.
They've been out. Well,
they've been good. Now
they've been entertaining because of the characters in the game. Like Ohtani is must see. Like the way he crushed that ball last night. That's unfair. God, that man can hit a ball. So yeah, I agree with you. It's been they got the Dodgers just have a star team. Like they just look like
an all-star team. They're an all-star team.
Yeah. I kind of want to see a Yankees. I'm kind of selfish at this point that I kind of want to see a Yankees Dodgers.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
The Yankees are doing their part.
The Yankees are doing their part. You know, and the Dodgers did their part last night. They games 1 and 3, they've done their part. So
yeah,
they just got to stop the Mets' weird momentum of being miraculous when they need to be.
Yeah.
Are you rooting for Yankees or Mets, Charlie? Are you? What's your obligation as a Knick?
I don't have an obligation. I just I like seeing good games. I have friends that are Mets fans, and being from New York, you enjoy the New York sports team, so I don't have an obligation.
So
everyone likes the Subway Series though when it happened.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember it very distinctly. It doesn't feel like it's going to happen this time, but you never know. It's still early.
You never know.
You never know.
Shout out Greg Cody.
Yeah. Well, who we going with? This one's in Virginia Tech tonight. Both tied in the ACC with 1 win apiece and 1 loss apiece.
Charlie, who you going with? Great game.
Huh?
I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech because they're playing at home, and Boston College didn't fare well the last time they played on the road, and so if Virginia Tech's defense can get Boston College in passing opportunities, we know they have a chance to win. So
they got a chance, absolutely.
But I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I'm with Charlie, and I like the momentum that Virginia Tech's playing with since coming off that Miami game. And they did what I thought they would do was realize that hey, if we can play with them, we can play with anybody, and they've kind of played with that kind of confidence since that game. And so I like the way they're playing right now. So I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech.
I will join you, gentlemen, as well for all the same reasons. Florida State University. The Seminoles are traveling to Duke, and not just any Duke, a 5-1 Duke that no one saw coming. Yeah. Who you guys taking on this one?
I'm going Florida State. I feel like they're kind of due to have a solid game, and having Brock, I think against Clemson, I think he made some very good plays, gave the offense hope. They just couldn't score in the red zone when they got down there, very similar to California in some form. And defensively, I think we played well for the most part. Just gave up 17 points in the first quarter. That was
which is never good.
They gave up all the points in the quarter.
Right.
Yeah. So that hurt the overall score. But the Duke, it's hard. Like I mean, they're having a good year, but have they really played
Right.
someone that's going to pressure them or push them? I don't know if Florida State is that team either, but I just I just I just don't know about them. But of course, I'm going Florida State.
I'm with Charlie on that one. Yes, Duke is 5-1, but it's not a 5-1 I trust. They lost their last time out against Georgia Tech. I mean, they only put up 21 points against the North Carolina defense that we laugh at every week. And so they beat Elon and Northwestern. So I'm gonna go with Florida State on this one. I think they get some things right. I think they'll be able to move the ball a little bit better. They just got to catch the ball. Catch the ball. They probably have a couple more wins on their record if they catch the ball.
100%. I will also make it the trifecta, and I think Florida State gets off the schneid, as they say, this week and turns it around with a good win against the Duke Blue Devils. We kick off Saturday with one of the biggest games of the weekend. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to know what's going on. I think I have this wrong as far as location, right? Or do I have it right?
No, it's here. You got it right.
I got it right? Okay. I don't know why I thought it was in. Well, then ESPN has it wrong in one of the places I'm looking at because they have it the opposite then. Okay. So Miami at Louisville. A noon start time. What's the temperature like? Is it one of those everybody's going to be there kind of games, or it's still kind of in the air? Or what are we talking about?
The game's officially sold out. So
officially sold out. Okay.
Yeah, it's officially sold out. It's going to be 75 degrees that day, so it's going to be a beautiful day. Even though it's been cold all week, it's going to warm up on the weekend. But,
right.
It's going to be a beautiful day. It's sold out. They're honoring Teddy Bridgewater during the game at some point. It's twice in a month that Teddy Two Gloves has been in town. He hadn't been in town very often. He's been twice in a couple months. No, he's coaching now.
I was going to say he's got
coaches
time.
His alma mater, and so it'll be good to see him again. I say he was inducted in the Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame last month, and so
of which you hosted. I see what you did there.
I didn't say it, so you can't flex me.
You're right. You're right. If I waited like 5 seconds, you probably.
No, I drove right up to the line, and I was like, "That's where I'm gonna end it at."
Fantastic.
I know how you work, Mr. Spence.
You're learning. You're learning. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a great game. I feel like this might be the weekend that Miami's flirting with danger catches up to them because Cam Ward, as great as he's been, he turns the ball over, and Louisville's getting healthy again. Quincy Riley should be back at 100%. And so I think I think this could be the week that Louisville does pull off the upset. My only drawback about it though is Miami's been hearing that all off season and all season coming in that this is the game that they're going to stumble. They could possibly stumble, and Louisville beat them at Miami last year. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they're going to come in underrating them like I kind of feel like they did against California and Virginia Tech. I don't think they're going to do that this week. And so I think it's going to be a tough game, but I do think Louisville might be able to pull off the upset.
Okay, so you're going with Louisville now.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie.
Well, I don't think Miami's been underrating anyone. I just think the teams have played really well against them. And Miami has flaws, just like most teams. Most of the top tier teams, their flaws are across the board where they struggle. So I don't think Miami had anything to do with the games that they've been playing. It's been more so the teams have played well against them and created opportunities to give themselves a chance to win, which mainly came down to the defensive side for Miami. And so it'll be interesting to see if they can get that corrected And if they do, then they'll be able to, have a chance. But I'm going with Louisville. I'm very similar, Kendrick. I just think, Miami's been flirting these last few weeks, on the verge of losing, and they just find a way to win the game. And at some point, it's going to catch up with them.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, gentlemen, and I want to add, Miami has not seen a team that can match them offensively yet, like player for player. This will be the first time where we're going to put out a lot of speed, just like you got a lot of speed. So that plays into Louisville's hand at home. And then I think the more desperate team is Louisville. I think Louisville knows we don't win this one, our ACC, our playoff, our everything is pretty much done. Like we can't. The chances of us rebounding from that are very slim. So I think Louisville's going to come and play with a greater sense of urgency, and I think that'll be enough. Plus the being at home, I think that's going to be a lot for Miami to overcome. Especially like you guys said, they've been kind of dancing around the fire for quite some time now. And I think at some point it does catch up with them.
And they're playing for the Snellenberger Trophy. Have you seen this trophy?
I have not seen it. There's a Snellenberger Trophy now?
Yes, it's a pair of his boots that they've bronzed.
Interesting. Okay. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Last year was the first year they played for it. So the ACC has made Louisville, Miami their annual game. They'll play each other every year.
Well, they did it at the right time because they're both trending in the right direction.
And Snelly, he just passed a couple years ago. So
yes, he did. Yeah.
That's where the whole thing came from. I think if they were going to do a trophy, it should have been his pipe because people know him more for his pipe than his boots.
First of all,
but I guess
today years old. I was gonna say I'm today years old finding out he wore boots. Let's start with that. But I've always known about the pipe. That pipe is legendary.
Right.
I think I did an interview with him, and he had the pipe in his mouth during the interview. It was weird, but
Snellenberger was great. Charlie, did you have much interaction with him at all?
No.
Oh man,
he was living before me. I met him a couple
extremely
times.
accommodating.
Oh yeah, when Louisville played in the Orange Bowl that year, we went down. That's back when he was at FAU. And Kat and I went there to do a story on, and he could not have been more excited to see just some people from Louisville come by. He took us all around campus. He showed us where that airstrip is right by the stadium. It was awesome. He could not have been more accommodating. And every time you see Snellenberger, he was always great. He always has something funny to say.
Easy interview. Okay, Virginia. I got that one wrong. No, I got that one right too. I'm on fire. Virginia and Clemson. I don't know why I keep I'm getting it wrong, or it looks like I'm getting the wrong ESPN. I don't know.
Trust in yourself.
Trust in myself. I gotta trust in myself. Virginia and Clemson is a noon game as well.
Oh, that game's at Clemson.
That defense has traveled so far. I don't know if it's the offense that is not playing great.
Well, that's the problem.
Kalandria is not playing consistently.
That's a problem against Clemson.
It is a problem. It is a problem. I don't think Clemson's going to put up 50. I don't think they will. But I do think that they'll win the game.
Well, I'm glad we're not having to do over-unders on this game. But so I'm just going to go with Clemson. I do think they could possibly put up. I don't think there's too many teams that Clemson can't put up 50 against right now. Because their offense is just on fire. Because their offense is on fire. They're playing well right now.
Okay.
So, I'll go with Clemson. If that game was at Virginia, I'd have a little bit more apprehension, but I'll go with Clemson.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going with Clemson as well.
Okay.
I just think they're playing at a high level, and their defense is, who they are.
Yeah.
Offensively, they're putting up numbers. They're getting the ball to their playmakers. Guys are making plays. The run game, pass game, all of that's clicking right now. And of course, Virginia, they played solid defense, but offensively, they can struggle. And so I think on the road, that's an issue.
Yeah,
especially a noon game in Clemson, Death Valley. That place will be rocking.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud in there. Shout out to once again UConn for always providing their services to the ACC. This week, the beneficiary seems to be Wake Forest.
Yeah. I mean, really, why are they playing so many ACC games?
But let me say this: UConn 4-2.
Well, they should be one might say they should be in the ACC.
I mean, not sure what we're waiting for, but
I mean, for the basketball part of it, I mean, that would be fantastic.
It'd be outstanding on so many levels. It'd be outstanding,
and it'd be a smooth fit right in for football since they already play more conference games than U of L does.
I don't understand what the holdup is. Like, is it just paperwork at this point? Like, what are we waiting on?
What are we doing?
Like, I don't know, but Wake Forest will benefit, I'm assuming, from the opportunity to play them. Are we all taking Wake Forest on this one, or is there a bold person?
I am.
I will. I think they have been playing better.
Yeah.
What game is it? What channel is this game on? It's got to be on ESPN Plus.
It's actually on CBS SN.
Exactly.
So there you go. Yeah. There you go. Notre Dame and Georgia Tech, and this one's at Georgia Tech. This one interests me.
I'm still going with Notre Dame. Notre Dame's playing well right now.
I am gonna go Notre Dame, but I am not confident because the loss that they have was from a guy who could scramble around and make plays. Now, granted, this guy's is the sole offense of his team, so I gotta believe Coach Freeman is going to be prepared for that. But I don't know.
I just like the way Notre Dame's playing right now. So Louisville game aside, because they didn't play well in that game, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But they've played well since then, and so I'm Notre Dame's playing really good. I'll go with the Irish.
All right, Charlie.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go against the Irish at this point. They're starting to put it together from an offense and defense standpoint, understanding their strengths. But they are on the road. They're playing Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't go with Georgia Tech because my man ain't throw it.
I hear you.
Had 107 yards pass. And
yeah, he's gonna come back to that.
They got tight end playing quarterback. It's not
right.
Right. Just can't get it done.
Yeah. Shout out to California, who should get back on the winning side. Although this is an early game for them.
12:30.
Well, it's not early for California. It's early for NC State.
Right, NC State. Yeah,
having to travel and play at 12:30.
Well, yeah, right. I was gonna say they're 12:30, but they got to get up relatively early for this.
Yeah, for their body clock though, it's still 3:30.
But NC State is, yes.
Yeah, and I don't think the time of the game is gonna have much of an influence.
You say that, but I think California's gonna win.
It has an influence when it's a night game in California. If it's during the day, the body clock's not gonna be off that much. I don't think. But I'm going California all day anyway, regardless what time they play.
Right.
Right. Me too.
All right. SMU and Stanford. What do you call these, Charlie? Stat games?
I don't think this is a stat game though. Because Stanford does have decent defense.
No, not against Jennings.
True.
I think Jennings is going to go wild.
SMU can run. They can go on the road and play well. I mean, they did it last week. So
I think Jennings is going to put up 250 and 250. It's going to be a wild day.
He won't, because if he's doing that, he's going to be pulled from the game before he gets one of those 250s.
I think it's gonna be a wild day. Stanford has proven that they can't probably get this one done.
Try to give Stanford some hope.
I appreciate it. It's appreciative. Okay, so the I Believe games this week, we got all bangers. No easy games this week, gentlemen. You got to earn your I Believe game, and they are Alabama and Tennessee. That's the 3:30 game. That should be a good one. It'd be an interesting one for sure. Georgia and Texas is the night game at 7:30. And then on Sunday, we got Lions-Vikings, which is going to be a really good one as well. And then we close out Monday with Ravens-Bucks. So no easy wins this weekend.
Those are some bangers. I give you credit.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah, I realize we're going to have to probably make these I Believe games a little more challenging.
Why would you do that for?
So who are you believing in this week, gentlemen? We'll start with the great Charlie Ward. Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Lions, Vikings, or Ravens, Bucks. Those are all hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where you going with, Charlie?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. They've been playing really good football. The Bucks have as well. And for the Ravens, they seem to have what they need, on both sides of the football, as far as the run game, pass game, and then defensively, they play well enough on that side. The Bucks, of course, they've been playing well but they did give up 27 points in a quarter.
Yeah.
To Spencer Rattler.
So
that's a little disturbing. Which they can't do that against the Ravens.
Well, if they do that against the Ravens, they're not getting the ball back.
True.
That's true too.
Right. Let's be clear. Derrick Henry is Mariano Rivera right now. He is the greatest closer in the league right now.
Right. Hey, to me, they're playing the best football in the league right now. And people they're apprehensive to say it because they're 4-2 when there's two undefeated teams. But if you really actually watch the games, I think they're playing better than anybody else right now. They're the best team in the league right now for me.
And by the way, let's not also forget that the Ravens have Derrick Henry. I don't want you guys to forget that Derrick Henry plays for the Ravens. He could have played other places, but he chose to play.
See, why you want to bring that up?
Well, because it just felt right. It didn't. Two reasons. It felt right, and also I forgot what I was going to say. So I had to pivot. It worked out. I said, I got nothing. The thought just left me just that fast. Okay. I had an old man moment.
They got this show's favorite player in Zay Flowers.
Listen.
And he's been
lights out last week.
They handing the ball off to this man. They throwing screens to this man. He is just balling out there. We love Zay Flowers.
Can I pivot just for a quick second? Because I do want to ask Charlie this question because he's the only one on this show that has this level of experience. Charlie, how disrespectful were the Lions towards the Cowboys in some of those trick plays? I got it. Because I feel like, and this is no shade at all, Kendrick.
Oh,
but
sure it's not.
No, I'm serious. I'm being honest. I'm being serious. But when they started running those hooking laterals, and I'm like, y'all ain't got to do that. That's just rude. That is just, listen, last year's game is over. You ain't got to keep reliving it. This is just rude at this point. But
no, what's rude?
Is that the equivalent of having
rude and disrespectful? Is you jamming this into the show?
No, I'm not jamming it because I'm just curious because we got somebody that can bring some context to it. So, Charlie, I'm turning it over to you. Your thoughts?
Not that. I just say I don't know if it's rude or whatever it is, but they were they were winning by a lot to be able to do the things that they were doing. That's normally when you start seeing those types of playground type plays that you've had in the bag, and you pull it out. If the game was close, they're not trying those type of plays and all the different things that they were doing. But with the game out of hand, or them feeling confident in where they were at the point. Now some of them, like the offensive line stuff, that was just totally just like salt in the wound type deal. But I like the flea flicker. The
flea flicker was nice. I ain't gonna hold
reverse flea flicker to the tight end down the seam. Down the sideline. That was nice. But like the hook and lateral, I can say that the design of the play was a great design, because the guy that he hooked, he threw it back to, was the one that would normally be the kick out guy on that cornerback. And so that was just showing love to the offensive lineman, and plus the offensive lineman being able to catch the ball and run the ball like they did
with a little bit of speed
was impressive as well.
Yeah. It made it now you understand why they actually have offensive linemen running at the combine, because it's never made sense to me. So there you go. There's your reasoning. But you know what though? All jokes aside, I wasn't offended by it. Because my thing is, if you don't like 100. It, then stop it.
Stop it.
You have the option. If you don't like it, then stop it.
You have that option.
Yeah, they came in there and they realized that they can't stop anything we're gonna do. So let's just throw some stuff out there and see what works. Like Charlie said, those are probably plays that they work on at the end of practice every now and then. And it's like, you know what? let's go ahead and call this and see what happens.
I think I do though agree with Bill Belichick. I heard him saying on Inside the NFL, I don't know if I'd have given away that flea flick, because that was a really good play.
Right.
And to give that away.
That's the part about it that I didn't agree with. I'm like, okay, you could use this in a game when you might need it. And now
that one for sure you're going to use it.
Now you've put it on film. Yeah. You've put it on film.
Yeah, I don't think you're using that hook and lateral again, at least not with a lineman. But
you might.
Listen, that's definitely a catch you off guard play. Like, you don't see that one coming. So, all right, I've stalled you long enough, Kendrick. I'll try to give you some time. Who you picking?
I don't forget.
Alabama, Tennessee.
I'm gonna go Alabama.
Alabama?
I'm gonna go Alabama because I never trust Tennessee in a big game. I never trust Tennessee in a big game. The offense has been struggling lately, and I just don't see Alabama stumbling again like they did at Vanderbilt. And so I'm going with Alabama in that one. Really, it's just because I don't trust Tennessee in a big game more than anything.
Right, it's more about who you don't trust than who you do. Which is the opposite of the I believe game, Kendrick. That's right.
I believe in Tennessee.
I believe in the other team because I don't believe in the other ones.
And I wanted to leave you with Georgia, Texas.
Or Lions, Vikings, which isn't much better. I think I'm going Lions on this one. I feel like if I got to choose from all four teams, although I don't know, man, not having Aiden Hutchinson.
The Aiden Hutchinson thing is a big one.
That is massive. Oh, man. I just remembered that. By the way, I'm not sure what they're waiting on with the Hassan Reddick deal. But
I don't know. I'm like, why wouldn't they just go after Hassan Reddick?
I was going to say, I don't know what they're waiting on with that.
Yeah.
That.
Well, I think part of it, though,
trade as we speak.
But I think he wants a long-term deal, and I don't think the Lions don't need him long-term.
Well, but why not? Like, I mean,
true.
What's better than having one dominant linebacker than two?
That's scary, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd fit into the culture just fine. And I don't know. I
know.
Anyway,
team use them too, but
see, now I'm scared of the Lions game because I don't know what a no Aiden Hutchinson Lions looks like, and that's kind of scary.
Shout out to my boy Josh Pascal for the Lions, former UK defensive end. He's played well for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the guy that overcame cancer.
Yeah. God, I'm scared of both these games. Give me Texas at home. I'm probably gonna lose that one, but give me Texas at home.
That's a tough one, and
give me Texas at home.
I like Texas in that game too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it's just solely because they're at home. I don't know if they can move the ball against Georgia like they moved the ball against everyone else, but
they will.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that offense can move the ball against anybody.
Right. I mean, they got weapons unless they lose some of them at some point. But
yeah,
I mean, I think they got enough guys to be able to, spread it around, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. I'm just curious to see how Georgia offense, especially the offensive line, if they can find a way to be efficient or be dominant in some form of fashion against Texas, because that's been one of their Achilles heels this year. Is their offense. I mean, they scored 13 points against Kentucky.
Right.
Yeah.
And they struggled, I mean, they've had the outbursts, but they struggled.
Yeah.
This year, I'll just say
that.
Yeah,
they had that second half outburst against Alabama, but I mean that first half though, oof.
Correct.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. It was definitely rough. All right, well, gentlemen, who are you shouting out this week?
I got a couple of shout outs. I'll shout out our guy Will Smith, the catcher for the Dodgers. He's a Louisville native and also played at the University of Louisville. He finally got a hit yesterday, even though it was a dribbler that bounced off the pitcher, but it was an RBI single. So shout out to him. And then shout out, Charlie, I don't know if you've seen it. Louisville released the helmets that they plan on wearing for the Miami game. They're a matte black with a cursive cards on it, and it's awesome. They haven't released what the rest of the uniform is going to look like yet, but just that helmet looked fantastic. So shout out to their marketing department for coming up with new uniforms and stuff like that. And also shout out to basketball season because it starts next week.
Nice.
Yeah. I want to shout out Sabrina Ionescu.
My bad shot last night. I've been a Sabrina Ionescu fan since she was in college. I think she was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, that was massive.
She was big last night. Just put her name up there with a lot of the greats when it comes to being a killer down the stretch, and now that's what people will know her by. And I mean, she's been known for being a solid shooter and player, but these moments kind of help bring that out for the masses. But it was just a great game.
Great comeback
game in general. This series, I wish they played more games. But it's been a great series. The games have been competitive. That's what you want in the finals.
Road teams winning.
But I also just like the fact, and this is something I know we would like to see more games, but I do this in practice sometimes with our guys, because when you shorten the games are more competitive if they're competitors.
Yeah.
And so when you have 5 games as your max, all the games are important. So there's no bluff games. There's no, we can get it back next game. You have to try to win every single game because you're fighting to get to 3 as opposed to 1 more, which is always tough, to get 4 wins.
Yeah.
But to get to 3, that means you have to, every game is important.
Right.
Every moment.
Yes. And so I just like the fact that, we would like to see more games, but with the games being 5 games as the max, you get more competitive games. And I mean, I would like to see the NBA do it, especially in the early rounds.
Especially the early rounds. There's no reason for 7 games in the opening round.
Correct.
I was sitting there thinking, shout out to Charlie for the subtle nudge to the NBA to pull back in the early rounds. I 100% agree, because I think it's the
it's
first
all money
rounds
so
are way too long.
It's all money, and eventually the WNBA is going to move to 7. We know it's going to happen, especially now with the popularity and with it exploding now. People are going to want more games. The WNBA, they're going to move to 7 eventually.
Oh no, they're moving there next year.
Yeah. So
they're moving 7 games in the finals.
Wow.
In the finals next year.
And I can see both sides. Like you said, it's much more competitive when it is 5 games. But as a fan of games, I like to see more games in the playoffs, especially in the championship. I can see staying at 5 in the earlier rounds, but like in the championship series, I do like to see it at 7. But yeah, but Charlie's 100,000% right. It's more competitive.
Shout out to the fans they've been selling out these arenas. Where we've only seen the sellouts in the playoffs, but I think they've been supporting the teams throughout the year. But it's just great to see in the playoffs the fans coming out and supporting their teams.
Yes.
And this game was on a Wednesday night, and people were there. I don't know how many people watching, but if they weren't watching, they missed a great game.
A great game.
And again,
it was a great game with a great post-game response by Sabrina Ionescu.
Ionescu is hurt, period. She always has been.
Well,
there's a reason why.
Did you hear her game? Her post-game response.
I didn't hear her.
She said that was the best second team WNBA shot of all time.
Yeah, she put that out there.
A little bit, maybe a little shade down.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because she's been hurt.
Who they can put over? I mean,
I think that was a little bit of Caitlin Clark shade, probably. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. Sabrina had a better season than Caitlin Clark. If we're being honest, by the numbers.
So Caitlin Clark,
who had the better season number-wise?
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark was first team. Did Caitlin have a better?
Caitlin was first team. I think by the numbers, Caitlin's season was better, because I think she broke a couple of not just rookie records, but actual
she broke some
WNBA records. So, and she got her team in the playoffs in year 1. So I mean,
yeah, but Sabrina's a competitor, so I like it.
Yeah, I get the shade, but I don't know if it's merited. I think Caitlin earned her spot this time. You got to give her credit. She earned her spot.
I mean, she did.
Yeah,
but I understand her plight.
Sure, 100%.
And she's a competitor. At the end of the day, she's a competitor, and there's a reason why
y'all must have forgot moment last night.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why she was shooting against Steph in the All-Star game. I mean, Sabrina's not no Johnny Come Lately.
Exactly, she is her. So let's be clear. You got any more, Charlie? Any more shout-outs?
No. No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Well, let me say this. My first one is also to the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, who, shockingly to me, I had no idea this was going on, because I don't remember seeing any advertisements for this. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they had the Friday night on ESPN2 game all to themselves. Now, it was a weird 9:30 or 10:30 Eastern time start. I was like, why are they starting so late? That was crazy. But they played Prairie View. They got the win. It was here in the great city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. It was,
I don't see anything on Friday.
It was actually a really good game as far as HBCU games go. No disrespect and no shade, but they got the win, and it was a fun night. Big for the city. But I couldn't understand why it was like. But I guess if you want to have the stage to yourself and your UAPB, you take whatever they give you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why Western Kentucky was playing last night.
Right. What's available? We'll take it.
It was good for them though. I mean,
Yeah.
they had their game, and actually, I got a chance to watch it. Do you know the head coach for
I,
Pine Bluff?
I have not met him. I have not met him. No.
Well, his his son. They were all here at FSU. Well,
Oh, okay.
uh, Coach Hampton was here at FSU. He was a special teams coach when Coach Taggart was the head coach.
Willie.
And his son, Ashton Hampton, is the cornerback for. He's a true freshman this year. He's the cornerback for Clemson.
Ah, okay.
Number 23.
Okay.
So that's a moment for you.
Nice.
So he gets a shout out as well, just vicariously. So there you go. I love it. I love it. And then I want to send some thoughts and prayers to Aiden Hutchinson. I got to be honest, in real time, I wasn't sure what happened.
I couldn't tell what happened. Yeah.
And then
and I made sure not to watch the replay since I didn't.
Right. I didn't watch the replay again because I don't like stuff. I'm not a fan of stuff like that. But he knew. I did see him say, "Oh, it's broken." Like you can see him mouthing the word. And that's a tough one, man. That kid was playing phenomenal. Yeah. He is a special player. The good news for him is that through the grace of God and phenomenal technology and medical advancement, he can absolutely come back to himself after an injury like that. Maybe even this season, depending on what takes place. We expect them to play relatively late to January.
Yeah, they playing it to January.
Yeah, so maybe there's a chance for him to come back even this season. But the kid is outstanding, and we're praying for him and wishing him all the best. So we give a collective thoughts and prayers to him. And then I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah, real
Let's
quick.
say that Shohei Ohtani home run was
Shohei,
awesome last night.
Hutchinson
that
and
was
Watt.
Awesome.
And real quick, Hutchinson and Watt have been unbelievable. Defense. Those two are
the only person that may come close to a defensive player of the year with them is Dexter Lawrence, Giants Dexter Lawrence. He's been playing out of his mind. He single-handedly helped, carry that defense to competitive football. If we didn't have Dexter Lawrence, I don't know where we'd be. We'd be clearly.
You got him.
We wouldn't have won a game, probably.
You got him, and you're still at the bottom of the division. So.
Right, and we're still struggling, but at least he's making. You know what? You don't have to do that. Yeah, I wouldn't do that coming off of 47-9, sir. Let's settle down.
Did you lose this weekend too?
Let's settle down, sir.
Did you lose this weekend?
Do you really want to compare football games from this weekend? Is that what we're doing?
We can compare the last time they played each other.
Is that what we're doing? We're comparing football games from this past weekend?
About the last time they played each other.
No, don't do that.
How about we compare that?
See, that is a classic Cowboys fan pivot.
How about we compare the last 5 years we played you all?
Well, you know what? Congratulations.
Not 5 games, 5 years.
Congratulations. You're paying a guy $60 million to beat the Giants.
Yep.
and that is working out. So I guess
hey. You gotta take your wins where you get them.
Oh my God. We've reduced the Cowboys from Super Bowl wins to wherever we get a win, we're fine.
Even Bulls ain't stepping the Super Bowl anytime soon.
Gentlemen, by the time we come back, the NBA will have started.
Yes.
Are you excited about that?
Yes. I can't wait for the NBA season to start.
Charlie, your Knicks look poised.
Last year they were poised, but they just they ran out of tread, tires and gas, and the hood started popping up, and they need to go and check the oil, and the rims and everything start falling off.
I think they solved that. I think quietly they've had the best offseason of anybody. Like they look ready.
I agree. I mean, like I said, as long as they stay healthy, they'll be in the mix. I think Cat will definitely help them from just a standpoint of being able to stretch the floor
and being available.
And that presence, that outside shooting presence will be beneficial for them to be able to stretch the floor and open up the floor more for guys that they have. So, but I was just interested. I would love to hear the backstory of my man Rick Bronson and DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo.
That was uncomfortable.
In the preseason. That was in a preseason game. That's crazy.
Like, man, he is really upset. I do have to ask you this question, Charlie. I have to ask. Does Coach Tibbs have to pull back some? Like, maybe just some, right? Just a little bit. Because like you said, that sputter to the finish line and to not get across it was probably because they pushed so hard during the season. At some point, don't you have to kind of like learn from history and say, okay, maybe once we've got things pretty secure in March, maybe kind of take the foot off the gas just a little bit.
Maybe have more than a 6-man rotation.
I mean, maybe a little bit, right? Right, Charlie? What are your thoughts on that one?
I don't know. I mean, that's who he is. And
that's who he is.
The players that come there know that. And as a coach, you don't take things for granted. I think you want to win as many games because those games, if you don't win them, can come back to bite you when it comes to seeding in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage. I don't think they practice as much. So when you don't, when we come along, the games were hard, the practices were hard, and so there was a lot of just hard on the body.
Yeah,
I don't think they have those anymore. They may have some practices, but I think there are other ways to manage it, and they probably use all their game for their hard practices. I mean, their hard, the way they go at it. So, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I think every team plays their best players, the most consistently.
Yeah.
So they play them 40 minutes a night. I mean, that happens on most teams where your best players play 40 minutes or however. But I don't know about 40, but that's tough if you're playing every night.
He's got the reputation. I don't know, and I'm not sure the reputation is merited because I agree with you, Charlie. I watch a lot of Knicks games, and I don't know if he's pushing them any harder than anybody else is pushing their teams. Like LeBron is 40 and he's still playing upwards of 35 minutes. Like, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody's pushing their teams harder. So I don't know. But that is his reputation, and last year, reputation appeared to match up to the results, which was wild because I think they were one of the better teams coming into the playoffs, and it just circumstances were what they were. But it'll be interesting to see. You guys got any early NBA predictions, or are we gonna wait till see some of these games first?
I'll go out on a limb on one, even though I don't know how much I'm going out on a limb on that. But Reed Shepherd, Rookie of the Year.
Reed Shepherd, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't know if that's a stretch because he's.
Yeah. Is he a rookie?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh, this is first year, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely been balling this preseason.
He looks good.
Mm-hmm. Comeback Player of the Year, Ja Morant.
I can't argue with that. I think
he's going to be on a rampage. Only thing for him is staying healthy.
Sneaky first team Rookie of the Year, Dalton Connect. Just because he's going to be put in situations where he can perform. And I think he may be the most NBA ready player coming in as a rookie. And my final sneaky prediction. Victor Wembanyama. Probably going to be MVP.
I wouldn't. I mean, he was good last year. I mean,
he was so good last year. The season got on. The
But
longer
now
the
he's
season went, the
now he's
more
got a
the
true
better
point
he got.
guard. Yeah, now he's got a true point guard that's going to push him all season long.
Mhm.
And I just think he's going to put him in position to – because he's going to be there defensively. He can easily be defensive player of the year. He should have been the defensive player last year. You know, if you ask NBA guys, they think he should have been over Rudy Gobert. But I think he's going to be put in a solid situation. He may be the Travis Hunter of the NBA right now. You know what I did there?
Yeah.
I did not know the Gente kid from Boise has
State
yards already. Did you guys on 96 carries?
96. Yeah, he's been unstoppable, and he breaks clear, and it's a wrap.
Is that 1,000 yards? 1,000 yards. I don't know. I don't know if you can.
In 6 games, yeah, that's
you know what I mean? It's I know some of the critics are going to say competition, but 1,000 yards is 1,000 yards. It's like Steve McNair when he put those numbers up that year. Doesn't matter where he did it at. It's ridiculous numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's against college level teams.
D1 teams, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But Travis made some good points. I don't know if you heard him on Richard Sherman's podcast. No, I mean Robert Griffith's podcast. He said, "We've always seen good running backs. We've never seen a player play both ways and put up numbers too." Touche, Travis Hunter. Touche. So that was a great answer. Okay. All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys today. We're done. That's it. We're gonna go and get some comfortable and stock up on popcorn and stuff. I got a couple of steaks chilling in the freezer for this weekend. I know you don't want to hear that, Charlie, but it's true. But I also have 7, so it's gonna be a good weekend. We're gonna do surf and turf.
We're doing chili and wings on Sunday.
Doing chili and wings. That's an interesting combination. Chili and wings.
Okay.
Listen, if it stays this cold, I might be doing chili this weekend. It is freezing out there right now. I may have to break out a nice big thing of chili.
Yeah.
Do you eat chili, Charlie? Are you a chili guy?
Mm-hmm. There's no meat in it.
So just beans? You're just doing beans, Charlie?
Yeah, just beans with some tomatoes.
Tomatoes. I mean,
here's the thing about chili. If you get the broth of it all right, you can go without meat. It's not like I have to.
Yeah.
Noodles or no noodles?
I'm a no noodles guy. That's a Cincinnati thing that stumbled in the Louisville.
That's how I grew up with noodles.
Most Louisvillians eat it with noodles. That's true. I just didn't. I don't get it.
Yeah, I was raised. I didn't see chili without noodles until I was older.
Yeah, I don't get it. And by the way, I love Skyline. I love Gold Star. They're noodle based chili companies, and I still don't do it with noodles.
They can get soupy sometimes.
They get very soupy, but I like it. Anyway, are you a noodles or no noodles? We got to ask you that before we go, Charlie. That's just got to happen.
I don't. If I eat chili, it's normally with some form of a cracker or cookie.
Oyster crackers are the best.
Yes.
Yeah, oyster
something to that form.
And you know when I remember to get my oyster crackers? After I finish my chili. I'm like, I should add some oyster crackers. I never remember in real time. Ever.
Oh, with chili and with homemade chicken noodle soup, oyster crackers are the best.
They are the best. I just don't ever remember to get them when I'm supposed to. So
reminds me, I need to pick up some. Thanks for the reminder.
There's some others.
All right, again, enjoy this weekend. It's going to be phenomenal. We'll be back to talk about it all next week right here on BLEAV in the ACC. That's Kendrick Cassidy. That's Charlie Ward. I'm Lloyd Spence.
You've been listening to BLEAV in the ACC with Charlie Ward, Lloyd Spence, and Kendrick Haskins. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share from the Noisemakers page on Facebook and on YouTube.
And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and wherever podcasts can be heard. And join us next